Hello, gorgeous pack of cards. How synchronistically
That was
magic. Welcome to Meet the Speakers, International Intuitives that are all lining up for you for the actual day on 11/11. We had a break last week because the tech god said no, but this week we are back with the fantastic Zoe Dawes, and Zoe came into my life at the beginning of the year through a mutual friend. I think, Zoe, you said to Gail Edwards, I think it was, that you said that you wanted to do a tarot room on Clubhouse. And you didn't know who to do it with. And she went, I know just the person.
right.
And what a blessing you have been. So I think maybe just to introduce everyone to you, just to, say a little bit about, maybe let's start at the beginning, just a little snippet if you can, because I know it can be a heck of a story behind this, but how did you actually first get involved with tarot?
Well, like probably many of us, Tiffany, I had an experience or two of tarot reading when I was younger. And then I remember probably I was maybe about 30. So I kind of not really had much connection with it at all. And then a friend who should never have been let loose with a tarot deck did a reading for me. And I'll never forget it because the tower came up and she went, oh. It was like,
oh my.
So it kind of put me off. I'd always been interested, though, certainly in astrology and all sorts of other things. But I went over to Ireland in my early 40s to do a coach training course. And when I was out there, a traveler girl, gypsy girl, she called herself a gypsy, I helped her with something, and she said she would like to give me some sort of input. And she said then that I was a healer and that I had this aura of healing. And Tiffany, I had no idea what she was talking about. I'm thinking, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. What's she talking about? This is how naive I was 20 years ago. And then she said, you have a psychic power, and are you intuitive? And I said, well, yes, So anyway, she suggested that I found a way to connect with it. And she suggested the tarot. And then there was somebody else on the coaching course who had a tarot deck. And so I sort of bit the bullet and I got hooked immediately, Tiffany. I mean, it was like, I just loved it. I found the cards. I had a traditional Rider-Waite deck, but they spoke in a way. And then, sort of fast forward 20 odd years later. So I've been doing readings since then, but I have to be honest and say that up until a few years ago, because I've been a coach for a long time, I would often get the clients to do the reading. It was as if I was denying my own gifts. And then I was told in no uncertain terms by a psychic medium that I was to use my gift to help others. And so for the last few years, I've been reading and then teaching tarot and intuition.
But I would say, like, what I love about your power is that you do blend it with coaching. And I think what happens is we learn something in life, and then we think we're leaving that behind, and we go almost like a pendulum into a different direction, and then we come into balance. And that's what I see. I see that integration of you in your work with the tarot. And I also think you have another incredible gift, which is so unique to you. And that really is your inner spark, because we have been doing club rooms, peeps, and let us know in the comments if you resonate with any of the story so far. As Zoe said, it's probably like many of our stories, or if you have any questions for Zoe. But I would say that what I have seen from doing the Clubhouse rooms with you is that you do light up a room. Like when you are in it, it's your zest for life and your passion for life. And I guess this is why, is this why you're making your own oracle called the Inner Spark?
It's called Find Your Spark.
Find your spark.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's as if again, like lots of things have come together.
Yeah.
So my name is Greek. Zoe means life. So people have often commented on the fact that I seem to enjoy life, put it that way.
Yeah.
And then I noticed a couple of years ago, and it increased during COVID, that when people lose their spark, they lose their mojo, and they get stuck and that. And because I see it as that spark for life, spark for living, the spark for what you look like you, Tiffany, you've got it, that when you are doing what you love, you have that magnetic spark. So I had actually designed a coaching program to help people find their spark and also develop their intuition. Combined with that had been the thought for a while that I might like to give it a go with an oracle deck. And it was actually January, just before COVID last year broke out. I met up with a couple of friends and I sort of tentatively said, I'm thinking of maybe doing an oracle. And they would go, oh, wow, fantastic. Immediately they said, oh, are you going to do an oracle? And Tiffany, I know you're a wonderful oracle, but you know how much harder it is to do an oracle deck than a tarot than an oracle. So yes, I'm not an artist myself, and I don't have huge my creativity comes in my writing more than anything. So I've been so fortunate to find a fantastic designer called Leanne Crow. And you know what I gave everybody when I was looking for an artist, I gave them all the same brief. I said, look, just take the phrase, find your spark, and come back to me with whatever it says to you.
Oh, I love that.
And the best of it was that Leanne, who had never even heard of oracle cards, bless her, she Googled it to find out what they were. And then she came back with 5 designs. And each one of them, Tiffany, I could have used immediately. And I just thought, bloody hell, this girl can interpret, because I needed to give her phrases that she could then interpret. And I wanted to work with an artist who they could let their own creativity run free. I didn't want to be saying, look, I'd like it to have this and do that. So we've been working together for 6 months. It's 5 months. It's coming to the end. We've only got about 8 more cards to do. There'll be 44. But each one is a little work of art. And I have yet then to channel and get the messages from the deck. But I hope when the deck is finally completed and it's out there, that it will help people to find their spark.
Absolutely, because that is your energy. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but you must be able to feel it. There is something about Zoe that absolutely lights you up. It's like the COVID jab, but way better.
That was like a girl on the national health. I have that as my strap line. It's like the COVID jab, only better.
Way better. I don't know, I guess there is this kind of when you have that spark or you have that mojo, it's like your immune system is stronger. It's like it gives you a layer of protection. It oomph you up. It makes you feel invincible. And I think that's why also there's such an energy for you with coaching, because obviously coaching is future based, isn't it? It's about getting people up and running. And so I think you have an amazing mix going on there, and you'll be coming into International Intuitives on 11/11.
Yes.
And you'll be doing a talk where you are going to tell us what spark stands for. Now, obviously, you're not going to tell us that right now, because guys, if you want to get on the list, the link is in the post. Just click it and you'll be in a waiting list then to receive the early bird ticket invite when we do open. But it's fabulous to have you on board. And is there any little tidbit you could give us?
Well,
without giving it away.
Without giving it away. Well, I think part of it is to tell people what I've put as Spark standing for. But also what I'll be showing people is how to, or particularly how to use tarot and oracle cards to help them to tap into their intuition and get their spark back. Because I think, it ebbs and flows, doesn't it? And I mean, COVID has really knocked it out of us. I mean, to be honest, Tiffany, I mean, today I recorded a video and it's the first time I've recorded one for YouTube for probably 3 or 4 months. I just haven't felt the right energy. My spark, I don't think it ever goes, does it? But it's like it just flickers away, a bit like the ignition button on a gas cooker. But it needs something to bring it alive. So I will be talking about what the spark is all about and how your intuition can guide you in the best way to reconnect with it if you've lost it, or if you perhaps don't feel you've ever had it, then it'll ignite it. And then I'll show how to use tarot and oracle cards. I'll basically almost go through a mini kind of what I would do with a client on the Find Your Spark course, where I help them to see how they can actually tap into their own intuition. Because Tiffany, we've all got it, haven't we? I mean, it's not not some sort of mysterious thing that I think we're all born with it. We just either lose it or we lose connection. But the more we use it, the better. And it's like our best friend, isn't it? I mean, it has our best interests at heart.
Which is always there within us, and it's about going within to find it. Okay. That's really fascinating stuff. I'm really intrigued by this little session that you're going to do, that you would do with, with somebody in your Find Your Spark course.
There's no secret to it. Tiffany, on the video I've just released, I'll do it. I could do it with you right now. Just if you want to give it a go, because I'll be doing
a little taster, a little tease, a little tease.
You'll just get so. I've got a deck of cards here, so Chris Ann, I believe she might be, speak to.
She's one of the speakers. Yes.
I can't wait to hear her. I know you use her Muse deck a lot, and I use her Lightseers deck a lot. So basically, what I'll be doing is, when I've gone through all the things about what Find Your Spark is all about, I will pick a card and then ask you to come up with, and I ask 3 questions. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a card for you at random very quickly, and then I'm going to ask you and you can share it if you would with everybody. So I'm just taking the one off the top. Now, this card has come up an awful lot. If you see the video that I've just recorded today, this card came up. So it's the 5 of, it's the 5 of
Cups.
Yeah. It's around, that energy is around a lot at the moment. So the first question is, what immediately does your intuition tell you about this card?
It tells me that my inner spark is going down the plug hole.
Okay.
And like you say, it's coming up a lot. It's come up a lot in my own tarot practice. And I also believe that it's collective. Anybody watching here live, let us know if it resonates with you. And also, on replay, does it resonate with you? I also feel like it's about, I think we're all going through a heck of a lot of change, and so I think there's a lot that is going down the plug hole, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to do that to clean the bath out.
Okay, so that's the sort of initial, and in a way you've almost answered the second question. So I've sort of asked people initially, what are you getting from it? Then the second one is, so what personal message is that card giving you?
Oh, yes. I know, but I don't feel like I can share.
That's fine. Okay. So again, and I will be saying this, with everybody, you keep it to yourself or share it. It doesn't matter, but the message is there. And then look again at the card, and what else is it saying to you? And again, you don't have to share this, but again, it's
okay. Well, what I'm seeing it's like my eyes are now being drawn more to the background,
Okay.
more to what's behind her, but at the same time I feel like I'm walking past her. It feels like that's, yeah, something here about me no longer being her, and actually going out to the vista, to the new vista
Okay. Right.
behind her. So it's like releasing, it's like the lower self also going down the plug hole.
Right. So releasing a part of you almost to sort of move forward with.
Yeah, it's like maybe that part of you that feels like you do have to ignite the gaslight, you know. What if we don't feel like that for a while? What if we feel like, no, actually, just stop trying to ignite the gaslight and actually just go to, you know, a hardware store and upgrade your cooker?
I love that. or just get an electric ignition light.
Yeah. So it's like thinking out the box, releasing the stress and the small-mindedness.
Okay.
Wow. So yeah, you've
that's
really
kind of
broadened it.
How I work with the client, and then what would happen then would be, okay, so that's the message you're getting, and then in the coaching, I'd be saying, right, so what do you need to do? And we talk about that, and then I really start pushing, and it's okay. When are you going to do it? And what are the blocks and barriers? So I go into this a little bit more in the talk, although obviously it's really to give people an idea of how you can use the card as your own personal coach.
Yeah,
in that
for sure. You've totally broadened it up. You totally opened it up. It was like, look, now look again. Now look again.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my. And that it really is a coaching thing, isn't it? To kind of keep them on track and keep them going deeper. So it's not just on face value. It's like what's underneath that. And again, dig deeper. And that's where you get the magic. So how would that work then when people are tuning into you for the actual session? Because obviously it won't be a one-to-one. So in your talk,
I will do exactly as that, and so I'll just having gone through it all, I will just talk to the camera and I will hold up a card. So whoever's watching, whether I assume, are they going to have recordings afterwards to listen again?
Yeah.
So it'll be just like that. So it'll only be a small portion of the actual experience, but I will be picking cards at random. As we know, there's no such thing, and holding them up, and so whoever's watching can actually go through that process themselves, a little bit like you do, with your lunchtime tarot feely. I will then take them through to the next bit, which is, okay, what are you going to do, and then when are you going to do it?
Wow. Yes, she's got you.
Coaching me.
I love it. Zoe, thank you so much. We've got lots of lovely love hearts, but it feels like, there's Sam Eggleston saying, so lovely to see you, which is lovely. Yeah, we've had people like just quietly in the background, I think probably taking it in. 5 of Cups, it's that kind of energy. But you're around in the group as well, aren't you? If anybody has any questions on the replay, just wonderful, Zoe. Thank you so much for showing up. And remember, guys, if you want to get in for Zoe's talk, just the link is up there. It's just to put you on a wait list so you get the invite to the early bird. Okay, and that's exclusive. So you have to be on the list to do that. So you can click the link up there in the post. And me and Zoe will just continue seeing you in the group. I will be back at 4 p.m. tomorrow, actually, with Natalie about our Astro Tarot Flamenco class that we're doing in the evening. Yes. And so, I love this. It feels like we're bringing all the magical bits of tarot. It's more than just a deck. It's more than just a card. You've given us a great example on that already this afternoon, and I can't wait to see your talk on 11/11. Zoe, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for joining us. Bye for now.